Hello crafty friend, it's me, Justine. I have two fun projects to make with Wendy, her collection that just came out from Spellbinders. It's beautiful. It's called From the Garden. And not only have I been using her sentiments on a whole bunch of projects, but I've been using her leaf and flower dies on a few of them this month. So you've probably seen that already. And you've probably also noticed me using and I will be using the die set that is the scallop borders a whole bunch. I know that die is probably going to be living on my desk from now on because I love having products that I like to use on hand right on my desk, and I don't have to go searching for them at all. But her collection is beautiful. I'm going to pop a few pictures on the screen so you can really get a good look at what they have, and Spellbinders does a wonderful job at taking pictures of their products so you can really see all that is there. And as you look at those, I will be adhering my scallop border here to my background black piece of paper, so you're not missing anything really too exciting. But you can see all of those very pretty things that she has to offer from her collection. It is a really fun vintage look, and I leaned into that vintage idea for this project. I went ahead and used this beautiful bouquet and stamped it, and then I used the coordinating die that came with it. And then for adding color, I used a whole bunch of my Copic markers. So I used E35, E13, E00, E09, and E41. And then I took my brown blending brush, which had remnants of my Distress ink on the back of it. Actually, it was the oxide that I used for this. I don't know why I have my ink here, but I used the oxide and then just kind of smudged all around over it so it gives this really pretty vintage look to my project. So this one I stamped, but I stamped and colored. If you are not a stamp and color person and you prefer a stencil, this is the right stamp set for you, because there is a stencil that coordinates with this, and you can probably see my next project over here a little bit, but I loved using the stencil on this one. I think it's super fun, and it's an easy and quick way to add a whole bunch of color to an image. And if you're not a colorist and don't prefer coloring, it is a great way to get that look without coloring. Then on these little leaves, I die cut them out with white paper and then colored them. I did use white, right? Yes, white paper. And then I used E43 and E41 to add a little bit of dimension to the lines of the leaves, and then use the Distress Oxide brush again on the very tips over here just to give that deep look. And I'm just going to be popping these behind the stamped image a little bit, and I am going to leave it kind of popping up so it kind of has a look like these are leaves, but it does blend into the background just a hair, and that's okay with me. Then this stamped thanks, I just absolutely love using white for the letters and then a dark background. The contrast looks so good to my eye, and I've used it a few times on some projects this month, so you're probably going to be seeing me use this one a lot. And it just is my style. I love the pop of the light and the dark. So make sure that you check out my Instagram if you haven't yet. I will be popping a whole bunch of projects on there this month. Some of them I don't have videos for, so if you're really looking for even more inspiration, be sure that you follow me on Instagram. That's Stationery by Justine on Instagram. If you see a little ink on my fingers, don't mind. I know that you crafty friends understand why there's ink on my fingers, because it's been a good day if you have ink on your fingers. I was just using a really fun Easter sentiment stamp set for this bunny card that I'm working on, and let's see, I'm pretty sure that video is going out the day after this one. Yep, it is. So you can come back tomorrow and see what I made with my bunnies, but I really do like it. Okay, I'm going to set that to the side, and I will put some embellishments on that at the very end. Okay, now this stamp set, you can really see the fun extra sentiments that come with it. They're kind of like it reminds me of a label, like a label maker, and they have a whole bunch of sentiments on there, so you can see that picture that I popped on the screen there, and you can kind of mix and match them and get different sentiments. But I wanted to pair those stamp sentiments with the die cut thanks, just so it had a little bit of interest with stamps and dies. So it says sincere thanks for you. And you can probably also see the embossing folder that's going on this card. Isn't that pretty? That embossing folder is new to Spellbinders as well, so I will link that in the description. But I have not taken my Copic colors and colored this yet, but every time I use this on a project, I think, oh, you gotta do that, girl, but I still have not. So, one day. Anyway, the nice thing about this stamp set is you can turn this flower any which way. On that project, it looks like it's landing on my card about here, but I think I want to turn it so it's like this. For whatever reason, that looks good to my eye. So I will just pop some liquid glue on the back, nothing fancy, and just give it a press. So the colors I used for stenciling on here, I used all oxide, so it does have that kind of muted color look to it. I will pop a picture on the screen of what I used. I did take the time to take a picture of what I used. I know, crazy, isn't it? But I used my go-to leaf combination, which is my Lucky Clover and Twisted Citron for the leaves, and then for the rose itself, I used Festive Berries and Lumberjack Plaid. And then for the pink flowers, I picked Raspberry because that is my go-to pink color. And then the yellow was the lemonade. I don't know why that's not in the picture, but I used squeezed lemonade for the yellow little sprigs that are on the back here of the roses. And then, that's it. So I'll pop my thanks. I'm going to put it kind of wonky on this one, and then pop my sincere down. I want it to kind of nest in that thanks, but be a little bit justified to the end. Oh boy, and that's not going to fit. That's what I get for putting glue right onto my project and not onto my little piece. I always tell my kindergartners, put the glue on the little piece and not on the big piece, because it will end up like this. So I will take my own advice and put the glue on the little piece. There's so much that you learn in kindergarten that is basically like how to do life. So I love being a kindergarten teacher. It's the best. Okay, anyway, now it's time to embellish these. So I'm going to grab my bling basket and pick out a few fun things. For my embellishments, I'm going to use a few things from my stash. First, the Fashion Oyster, which I just used on yesterday's video. I know, I just love them. So I'm going to pop these on my card. I like that it's giving the vintage look, and that really is what I'm going for this project. So I think that these are going to be perfect. Oh yes, but I do want it to be closer to the sentiment. So I'm just going to move that over. The little sticky just came off the back, so I'm going to hopefully sneak it back on the back again. Success. Okay. These smaller embellishments are okay in the mail. Some of the bigger ones definitely leave marks on an envelope, which is why I've been kind of leaning toward these enamel dots, which are a little bit thinner. So that's kind of been what I've been using for cards, which I know I'm going to be mailing. Now these enamel dots happen to come from a card kit from Spellbinders from this summer, and I think it was the beachy themed one. So I have some leftovers here. I'm going to use them up. You know, I just really do miss the card kits. I'm just saying. I love the Stencil Club, but I love the card kits that they used to have. Those were just my favorite part of the subscriptions, but you know, I'll have to find a different way to get some embellishments into my craft room besides just having Spellbinders pick them for me in those card kits. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and Wendy, if you're watching, congratulations. This is a beautiful collection, and I've made some really fun things with your work, so I know how hard it is to make a collection and all the work that you put into it. So wonderful job, Wendy, and thank you for watching all the way to the end, crafty friend. I am so grateful for you. So make sure that you're grateful all day and every day. We'll see you next time. Bye, crafty friend.